Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Tabatha Russell, and I am the CEO and founder of Inside Inspired Women, which is the home of the Breakthrough Millionaires. I'm so excited to be here with you on the Comeback Champions Summit. It is such an honor and a privilege to share with you on today. We're going to be talking about some amazing things from the standpoint of how we go from setback to seven figures. That's right. I'm going to share with you the wealth revival of a legacy champion. I have had the honor and the privilege of walking this out personally. So, what I'm going to share with you on today is going to be potentially life changing. And just can I say, bank account changing? So, go ahead, grab your notebooks and a pen because I want you to take some copious notes because I'm going to share with you some real information. Now, as we talk about the setback to seven figures, that is a real journey. And because it is a journey that is so personal and near and dear to my heart, I want you guys to know that it does not matter where you are today, but more importantly, where do you see yourself going in the future? What do you have on your vision map? What do you have that you are wanting to accomplish? And how do you want to impact the world? Because let's just say you don't make seven figures by your average job, right? For most people, they want to be an entrepreneur. But can I say that that is not for the faint of heart? I have had the honor of walking through some of the most devastating times in my life. Literally, I made one decision, lost $500,000, and ultimately everything I owned at the time. So, can I just say that coming back from that was nothing but amazing? But I also know that there's a real path that is available to all of us with resilience and with some discipline that you and I can achieve that and more. So, with that, let's start with the truth, right? You didn't wake up broke. You woke up potentially in someone else's broken system. You followed the blueprint, you went to school, got the job, you hustled hard, but you experienced the burnout. Can I just say, I've been there? I know that that is a real path. And for some people, that is not your end of the road. That is not the plight that you were handed. However, because you've been in it, let's just say it's become a real thing. I know that all too well. I stood in the place of despair, of depression, of just really trying to figure things out way too long. But the real gig, the real gag is you did everything right and still ended up exhausted and underpaid. How do I know that? Because I told you I've been there. Going through that does not feel the best. However, let's talk about the lessons that you get from that. Can I just say that for me, it was the blessing of a lifetime. It really taught me how strong I really was. It really taught me that the path of me learning all the things about financial literacy and putting myself in position to be in some rooms where I could get the information, that stuff really came in handy. Because why? I got the opportunity to firsthand put it into practice, but I didn't have anybody prior to me learning that in my ear saying, this is what you need to do when you make $1 million. When you get that $1 million contract, this is how I need you to diversify your portfolio. You need to have a lawyer on your staff, an accountant in your back pocket. Nobody was there talking me through those things. So, really, when I fell flat on my face, it caused me to do my research. It caused me really to lay a new foundation and to rewrite the plan of action that I was already on, but now build back where it's fortified and it's even stronger. Now, the setback is real. Can I just say that it's not the end, though? For some people, I know that because the situation looks bleak, because it may be, that you've ran out of resources, whatever it is, it looks like it could be the end of the road. But let's look at the picture here. Even with these runners that's out here on this track, as you notice that they all start at different places. They don't all start off side by side. So can I just encourage you today to say it doesn't matter where you are, but it matters where you finish. So sometimes you got to see yourself at the end before you even get started. And what do? You reverse engineer that so that way you can get the strength that you need, that you can get the courage from what the end result is looking like. Because some days it might be a little dark. You may not always see your way. You may not always have all the answers. But if you're working from a end result perspective, it's going to allow you to be able to see the big picture and see light at the end of the tunnel. Can I just say, when I was going through my situation, I did not have the opportunity to stop, whine, and mumble, grumble, complain. I didn't have the opportunity to do that. Why? Because I needed to feed my family. I needed a roof over our heads. So what did I do as an entrepreneur? I knew, because I left corporate America making six figures, that if nothing else, I could go back there and get some insurance and take care of my babies. With that being said, what's your plan? What's your plan of action? If something were to happen to you today or tomorrow, how will your business run? Does somebody have the blueprint? Is there somebody following you that closely behind you that they can pick up your legacy and run with it? Like, those are some real questions that I know I had to reflect on when I was going through my situation. And so, with that being said, I want you to sit down and really think about that, because setbacks feel like failure, but they're actually giving you feedback real time of the things that you need to do, the things that you need to have in place to make sure that this will never happen again. So most high achieving women mistake burnout for weakness. Can I just say that's your strong suit? When I lost everything, can I just say that I became fearless? Like, I got to where I was okay with falling down, because that taught me that, you know what, that's not my path. My path is over here. And so it allowed me to be able to be stronger through the process. So, three types of silent setbacks that I do want to bring to the forefront on today. One is financial bondage in secret. There's so many people that I talk to on a regular basis that have financial challenges, and they've been trying to manage it with credit cards, with loans, with lifestyle inflation, right? Like, if nothing else, we got to look the part, even though things may be falling apart all around us. Those are some of the things that's a taught behavior. Credit cards and relying on loans, that's a taught behavior. So you need to determine what that looks like in your life, but how that makes emotional depletion, overgiving, under living. Man, those are some real things that really start to hit home when you're going through this. And then there's identity confusion. The question that a lot of people ask is, who am I if I'm not producing? Some people identify themselves by the stuff, right? And this is how you get further away from your goal, because you're not on the plain path that you need to be on. Only you know where you are, and only you know where you're going. So, because of that, as a result, you get the opportunity to put some real parameters in place that can help you to literally change your life. Now, what is a legacy champion? Some people may be asking on today. You see Miss Gabby here. She is one of the most decorated gymnasts that is alive today. So, going on the path from survival to strategist to champion is not for the weak. A legacy champion is a woman who breaks cycles on purpose, right? Some people call them generational curses and different things, but I call them being the record breaker, right? Being the record holder. It changes things and it makes you feel a little different when you're the first to build wealth with wisdom and not just a work ethic. Right now, you have the blueprint. You've laid out the playbook on how to go from tragedy to triumph, how to go from pain to purpose, how to take your downfall and really have it set up as the come up, right? You understand legacy isn't what you leave after you die, but it's how you live while you're alive, right? Legacy, I'm learning, is that it is something that you now take others along with you on the journey. Time out for, oh, this is my secret. This is, about us for and no more. No, we really do need to bring the conversations back to the forefront and talk with how we lost it all, but gain it back. Too many times we've been trying to operate in silence, feeling like that we're going to overcome some things while yet everything else is falling apart around us. Your friends, your family members. Let's not talk about your children, right? How you keep the secrets even from them. No, there needs to be some open discussions on how it is that you're creating the legacy. Your legacy literally is a living and breathing notion of who you are. So, for example, if your name were to come up in a room that you're not in, what is it that they're going to say about you? What is it that they're going to, if there was one word to describe you, what would that one word be? And let me just say that if the word that they would use to describe you is not one that you want to be associated with, you still have time to change it. That's what I'm talking about, a moving and living, breathing legacy. And this is something that we all need to remember, is that we get the opportunity to literally write that out of what we want people to remember about us. And more importantly, what we want them to say about us today. So let's talk about the 3 power moves to shift us from setback to 7 figures, because I did say that I'm going to give you some real information on today. So power move number 1 is fire that version of you that just settled, right? Settled for being broke, settled for being second, settled for being less than, right? Let her go. Matter of fact, pack up her box, pack up her bags, and go ahead and ship her out because her job is done. She no longer needs to be associated with you. That version of you who accepted crumbs, she survived, but now you pick up your pieces and you thrive. You go forward into the greater things that you're called to do. What is your purpose that you're called to leave on this earth? You need to now walk in it. Matter of fact, own it, brand it, put your name on it, right? Wear it well. You can't lead a 7-figure legacy with a 5-figure mindset. Can I just say that many of us live below our means, right? And that sometimes can be a good thing. However, when you're feeling like you're going to go out there and you're going to help thousands, but you can't even show up on social media and record a video, or you can't show up and stand up in the front of the room of 10 people, how can you lead thousands? Right? We've got to be in the place where we become the living and breathing target that most people desire to be, right? Our message needs to be resounding. Can I just share with you that the moment I started sharing my story, my path, my journey, that everything changed for me, right? Setback to 7 figures, that's a real path, right? Once I became more than comfortable with sharing that, man, I just say, because first of all, it's my truth, right? They say that the truth will make you free. Yeah, it made me free when I owned it, right? I made the decision to take on the partnership. And as a result, they wanted the contracts a little bit more than I did. And I didn't know what I didn't know at the time, that my contract needed a contract and that we had some binding agreements there in between, right? So rewrite your inner script and tell yourself that I no longer chase validation. I choose to live in the overflow. That means that you raise your level of expectations, and more importantly, that you operate there, right? That you no longer lower your standards just to fit in and feel like that you have to get the validations from the powers that be, or those that you feel like you need to fit in with. If we all were chosen to fit in, then more people would do it, right? So stand out, be the odd thumb. It's okay. Power move number 2 is audit your alignment. Check the receipts of your life. Okay. Who's on your calendar and why? Where is your money going? You need to account for all of that. What conversations are you entertaining? Is it bringing you value or is it bringing you down? And then legacy requires clarity. Every area must pass the audit test. This is the season where you need to be intentional with your time, your energy, your investments, and your relationships. And can I just say, when it comes to the investments, I'm just not talking about money. Where is it that you're investing your knowledge? Where is it that you're investing your vision? If people can't see your vision, then you're in the wrong space and potentially you need to move on. Now, power move number 3, monetize the mess. You went through it. You know how it was. Your pain has profits attached to it. Can you just say my pain has some profits attached to it, right? It got some commas and it got some zeros, and all of them need to have some babies, right? Have some cousins. So the story you survive, it's someone else's survival guide. If you take nothing else away from this on today, the story you survived is someone else's survival guide. Package it, price it, and present it. Some examples is write the book, launch the course, start the coaching program, and license your knowledge. The cost of staying stuck. What happens if you don't move means that there's some delayed obedience that leads to legacy erosion. People will soon forget who you are, what you've done, all the things that you've accomplished when you stay stuck. Generational poverty repeats through silence. I told you, time out for us being quiet about what we've gone through and how we've gone through it. But now's the time for us to change that. And don't become the bottleneck, but you need to be the blessing, okay? You become the bottleneck and not the blessing when you stay silent. And you stay brilliant, right? All of you are great at what you do. You have the experience because you went through it, but you're broke as a result of not taking action. Don't just hear what I'm talking about on today, but take action. Go out there and be amazing and do something that you've never done before. Like challenge yourself to go beyond your comfort zone every single day. And finally, let's connect, because I believe that favor without financial literacy still feels like famine. And you can have all the faith in the world, but if you don't have the tools, you'll still feel broke. You can connect with me at my website, drtabatharussell.com, and I have the opportunity to have some free resources out there for you, as well as you can schedule a free discovery session with me where we can talk about what's on your agenda, how we can go from those setbacks to 7 figures. I look forward to connecting with you. Just go ahead, click the link, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. It's been my pleasure to be here with you on today. Once again, my name is Dr. Tabatha Russell. Take care.